Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be checking out the Akko ACR 98 Mini that was sent to me by Akko themselves for my honest review. Now this is more of like a smaller version of a full-size keyboard because you still get that numpad and the arrow keys, but you don't have the FN row. Think of it like an exploded 65% that has an additional numpad, which in my opinion is a very unique layout. This is available on Amazon for $115.99 and it comes in 4 options. This is the pink variant, but they also have a blue variant, a white variant, and a black variant. So the pink one comes with their jelly pink switches, the blue one comes with their jelly blue switches, the white one comes with their jelly white switches, and the black one comes with their jelly black switches. Now inside the box you get the keyboard, a manual, and inside the other box, which I thought was very cool that they included, they have the additional keys that this keycap set would come with if you bought the whole keycap set together. So you get the FN row, the other numpad, and the hot pink accent keys, which I think are very cool. You know, most companies don't really do something like that, so it's very interesting and very nice of them to do so. Another thing it comes with is a coiled pink USB-C cable. Now I will say the coil isn't my favorite. I actually prefer their first version of their coiled cables that I made a review video on. I'm not a big fan of how this coil is. I think honestly in the future going forward, it's really hard to get coiled cables right. In my opinion, I think brands should just stick to a straight cable that looks very nice and looks good with the keyboard. So if this was a straight cable that was pink, I think it would have looked a lot better, because the coil kind of doesn't look that well since it's kind of just shoved into the box and it makes it move around a lot. So not the best in my opinion, but overall not bad at all. The keyboard also comes with additional attach on feet that gives it more of an elevated typing experience, but it can be a bit too elevated with the feet flipped out, so I kind of just use them flipped in. And the other problem with it is that they are attached via 3mm tape, so you have to align them correctly onto the back of the board. So it is a bit of a hassle and I wish they were already on the keyboard itself, but overall it's still nice that they included them. Like I said, you get all of this for $115.99. A keyboard that's hot swappable, 3 and 5 pin support. It is north facing, so just know if you do use cherry profile keycaps that there may be interference with some switches. This is honestly a pretty good deal. The RGB looks very clean. They did a really good job with the LED placement on this keyboard, so I'm happy to see that, considering it is an acrylic case, so that is obviously something you would want to see in an acrylic case keyboard. Getting to the keyboard itself, I will say it sounds decent out of the box. You know, it's nothing crazy. The switches sound good because Akko does a really good job with their stock switches, but I will say the stabilizers are very lacking. They rattle a lot. A lot. When I mean these things rattle, they definitely rattle. And I'll be leaving a sound test here so you guys can hear how it sounds stock. But I did notice one thing before I go into the sound test, that whenever I have the RGB on for this keyboard and I use my USB microphone, it did get interference issues. So there's like a high humming sound in the background, or E sound. And I didn't really notice this until after the fact that I modded it and everything like that, so I couldn't re-record the stock audio sound test. Other than that, here's the sound test. So yeah, as you can tell, the stabilizers rattle a lot. And this is a stacked acrylic board, so I was kind of worried about how I was going to take it apart since I've never done it before. But all I had to do was unscrew all the screws on the back, and I was left with the PCB and the 3 or 4 layers of acrylic. Now, modding a stacked acrylic board is pretty annoying considering the layers kind of come apart, so putting it back together was a bit weird. But I noticed there was barely any room in this keyboard for modifications. So I found some really thin foam that came with my PBT-CO keycap set, and I felt like it would fit perfectly, and I was pleasantly surprised that I was right. So what I did was I put it in, I put it back together and screwed everything in and made sure it was right. And the next thing I wanted to work with was the stabilizers. So I heard a lot of good things about Asani plate mounted stabilizers, so I decided to pick those up and I put them into my board after I lubed them and I did everything. And you know, from my experience, they're obviously a lot better than the stock stabilizers that come with this, but I did have to really lube them. And you know, the foam actually made such a big difference when it comes to the sound profile. And I'll leave a sound test for you guys here so you can hear how it sounds. So yeah, the foam made a big difference. Now it is a unique sound profile. I don't really know how to profile it. It kind of sounds like poppy or like clacky, but like in a very unique sounding way. I don't really think it sounds horrible, but you know, to each their own. But this keyboard was a surprise for my mom. She didn't really know I was going to build this for her. And I figured out that like, well, she's going to be using this for school. And the way this keyboard sounds now, regardless of I like it, I know it's too loud for her work environment. So I went up and picked up these switches that I have that are lubed and filmed. I always butcher the name. I think it's the Lychee linear switches. I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure I butchered that, but I chose these because they have a deep sound to them and are on the low and muted side of things. So when she's at school, it won't annoy her students when she's typing away on her keyboard. And I felt like the jelly pink switches probably would have. After all the mods are complete, this is what the final board sounds like. I think Akko's offering a really good deal with a very nice and different keyboard layout, because this keyboard layout is mainly seen in very expensive high-end boards, and for it to be offered at such a low price is pretty cool. Let me know what you guys think about this keyboard in the comments down below, and if you do want to buy them, like I said, I'll have it in the description below for you to choose. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.